And now we will like to call upon Dr. P.K. Khatri sir. If my voice is audible, uh, are you there, sir?
Yes,
Yes.
I'm audible.
Yes, yes, sir, you are audible. And now we have to introduce you. Dr. P.K. Pradeep Kumar Khatri, sir, is a retired professor and head Department of Psychology, National PG College, Lucknow University, director at Sambal De-Addiction and Psychiatric Hospital, Lucknow, practicing clinical psychologist and as a counselor. Today, he will present his views on the topic Ayurveda, Yoga, and mental health, Vedic psychology. Sir, we are welcoming you. Now it's your turn. So, Dr. Khatri, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Hi to everyone. The topic of today's webinar is Universal Approach of Vedic Culture for Mental Excellence. As a student of psychology, I believe that our Indian Vedic culture is very much important to keep our maintain our mental equilibrium. And if I explain it in this way, that Param Adarani Guruji, Shri Ram Sharma Acharya ji, who has given very small tips to reduce the stress, to reduce the tension, to maintain the mental equilibrium. If we follow all those small tips, definitely our mental excellence will be very good and our mental equilibrium will be at our own control. I'll just discuss very short about the what the mental health is, what are the causes of the disturbances, and how this Ayurveda and yoga make the mental equilibrium in balance. Uh, as I have seen that during this pandemic attack, most of us are just trying to develop the immunity. So all the immunity is coming from the Ayurveda, and our this ministry has developed Ayush Mantralaya separately. So nowadays you can imagine what the use of Ayurveda is there in maintaining the immunity of the human being, as well as, and when the immunity will be in our control, then the mental equilibrium will be very in the balanced form, and it will be in our control. So what the mental health is, in 4 lines I would like to just explain it, that mental health is an integral part of health. Mental health is more than the absence of mental illness. Yes, mental health is absence of mental illness, but sometimes mental health disturbs when the mental illness just takes it in the mental health. If we are depressed, if we are irritable, if we are tense, if we are frustrated, then these are the causes through which our mental equilibrium disturbs. And mental health is intimately connected with physical health and behavior. It is quite obvious. What we say in our psychology, that is the psychophysiological disorders or psychosomatic disorders, कि वो चीज जो है हम फील करते हैं फिजिकल लेवल पर, but it is related with our mental level. So with physical health and behavior, good mental health is a sense of well-being, confidence, and self-esteem. What the World Health Organization has said about the mental health is that it is a state of well-being in which every individual realizes his or her potentials, may cope with the normal stresses of life, may work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her own community. So this is the mental health. Now, how it is being disturbed nowadays? Every individual, whether it is the children, whether it is the adolescents, adult, youth, and the old age person, every is just having the problem of the mental equilibrium. So, the causes of mental disturbance are multifaceted and highly complex, but evidence suggests that the modern approach of mental health is limited and largely ineffective, judging by the increasing number of people suffering from mental health issues. Actually, our thought process is one of the main reason to disturb our mental health. Most of the time in this pandemic, I am just taking the example of this pandemic, everyone is saying कि आप जो है डरिए नहीं, precaution लीजिए. You just take the precaution, don't have the fear. But we just do the reverse. We are not very much interested to take the precaution, but we are very much fearful. Still, people are roaming outside without having the mask. Why? So, this is the reason that we invite the mental disequilibrium with our own self. There is more violence, suicide, depression, anxiety, addiction, and profile use of psychotropic prescription drugs than ever before. Nowadays, we are having a mild headache, then we just go in a chemist shop and we will take a pill and we will have it. We are not going to know the root cause why it is there. Yet, it is known that the use of medication for mental illness causes dependency, which is very true. I am running the psychiatric hospital de-addiction center and I know it. We used to just give the training of yoga. I have the yoga instructor in my hospital who used to just come every morning and teaches the yoga pranayam, so many exercises to our patients to reduce their stress, to reduce their tension, to reduce their irritability. So we just give them the medication, but medication up to that level that one should not be dependent on it. Causes dependency and adverse side effect, but an alternative comprehensive approach has never been explored. So now it has been explored that as a Ayush Mantralaya, if we just analyze the COVID hospitals, they are still providing their hot water, kadha, lemon in the hot water, something like these, just to increase the immunity. Modern culture, where money is the everything, is a breeding group ground for mental disturbances. Due to this, loneliness, isolation, the dissolution of family and community, and the constant bombardment of toxic material on the collective mind are uses of our time. In addition, is the fact that available of most people in mass produced, contaminated by chemicals and low nutritional value, all contributing to ill mental health. The Vedas recognized mental illness thousands years ago, by understanding the connection between the body, mind, and spirituality. In Ayurveda, Sushastra advocates for Swasth Vritti, that is the positive health. Now, in psychology, we are teaching the positive psychology, mindfulness, gratitude, hope, all these things, which is nowadays decreasing within the individuals, within the humanity. So now you see, the 1,000 years back, the Swasthya Vritti, positive health was recommended. Then Dincharya, daily routine. Nowadays, no routine of the youngers are there. छुट्टी है तो हमको तो 10 बजे उठना है. Why? So this is the recommending the Dincharya. We should maintain our daily routine. Ritucharya, seasonal routines. In our Indian culture, the 4 categories are there. So this is the Ritucharya, seasonal routine. Seasonal routine is important. We should follow it. The foods of the seasonal routine is also important. Then diet, exercise for positive health. Spiritual dimensions of personality as recommended by Upanishads. They have told what they should do. For example, Buddhism favors to lead a well-ordered life by opting middle course between self-indulgence and extreme simplicity. This is the Buddhist concept. What the Jainism emphasized, they emphasized non-violence, vegetarianism, warmth, and human sympathy. With human sympathy in psychology, we have developed one more thing, that is the empathy. Nowadays, empathy is more important. Yug Purush Patanjali advocated to follow 8-fold path of yoga to get insight and sublime purity of the soul. This could be achieved through adopting a particular lifestyle, including 8 steps of the yoga, that is yam, self-control, with 5 rules, that is non-violence, truthfulness. आज आप देखिए कितना हम सच बोलते हैं. मैनिपुलेशंस हमारे अंदर बड़ा ज्यादा है. अगर हम कोविड की बात करें तो बहुत से लोग ऐसे हैं जो हॉस्पिटल से भाग भी जा रहे हैं. This is the height of the truthfulness. Not stealing, chastity, that is the purity and the virginity, and avoidance of greed. Further, niyam, that is observance through purity, contaminated study of Vedas, and devotion of God. When we devoted, when we pray to the God, when we are in the problems, then we pray the God. In our daily routine, why in our dincharya, whether it is included to just pay the homage to the God. So, devotion of the God. Then the third one, that is the asana, that is the posture. How many times we just give the attention on our postures. Pranayam, control of breath, and pratyahar, restraint. Then dharna, that is steadifying of the mind. हम अपना concentration कितना strong कर पाते हैं. Nowadays, the problem of the youth, the problem of the children is that I am not able to concentrate. This is the dharna. And the 7th is meditation, dhyana. And 8th and last is samadhi, that is the deep meditation. All of these lifestyle concepts should be followed, each of us, to just maintain our mental health equilibrium, keep in our balance. Ayurveda and yoga, which are Vedic sciences, address the body, mind, and spirit to get to the root cause of disease. Vedic philosophy does not describe psychology but recognizes that mental disturbances manifest as imbalance of all aspects of the human conditions, each one affecting the other. Vedic philosophy and the principles of Ayurveda and yoga, with understanding of the mind and its connection to spirituality, is an effective, long term, and permanent solution to the mental health issues of the modern society. So, what I just conclude with are these discussions that to maintain our mental health, to get the excellence of the mental health, we should follow the sutras given by the Ayurveda. We should do some yogic exercises, and keep our mind fresh, light, and without manipulations. I'm thankful for the organizers inviting me for this webinar. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir, for providing your valuable time, your knowledge on the Vedic perspective of mind, Ayurveda, the yoga. We hope all should understand about ancient Rishi culture, Ayurveda, and yoga, and should try to adopt these valuable teachings for upliftment of mental excellence.